Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 99th edition of the Chronicles of Podcast. And these are the Chronicles of Wesley Wang. It is I, the bearded Brummie, and joining me, as always, is this handsome fella right here.
He's Jamie. I'm sure you probably noticed now after 99 episodes in, but that's Jamie right there. And it's the Scotsman Tom. And welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast. Hit it!
Hey there, you're about to enjoy the Chronicles of Tom and Jamie.
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Mann.
Hey guys, my name's Annabelle Knight.
Hello, this is Becky Baldwin.
Hello, I'm Chesney.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Braden from Say We Can Fly.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Wesley Wang. I'm a writer-director from the US, and thank you so much for listening to the Chronicles of Podcast with Tom and Jamie.
Go, right, what can we use, what do we not need to use, that sort of thing.
Boys and girls, put your hands together as we bring you the Chronicles of Wesley Wang.
Like, we're not going to realize how good we had it until we're old and inevitably lose contact with each other. And then remembering all of this will be painful.
Joining us this week is Wesley Wang. Wesley Wang is an 11-time national and 6-time All-American chess player. He's currently a student at Harvard College, but he's not here to talk about any of that. That's just side projects. He is here to talk about the fact that he's a writer, director, and producer of several award-winning short films. And he's only just started because he's done all this by the age of 19. He joins us today to talk all about his latest short, Nothing Except Everything, starring Gotham's David Mazouz and Daredevil's Lily Chee. What an incredible conversation this is.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had someone at Harvard on our show before. I know, it's quite like, and you know, and like I say, an 11-time, is it national and 6-time All-American champion at chess? Like, and at 19 years old, like, it makes you look at your own life and go, oh.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't even play chess, let alone all the other shit. God damn it.
But no, it's sick to have Wesley on the show. It was an absolute pleasure. Big up, massive shout out to Tom Brumpton for organising this one for us. This is a great interview. Very great, very in-depth interview. And obviously we discuss all the AI stuff that's going on right now as well. So you guys are really going to enjoy this one. Trust me. Wesley, thank you so much for taking the time out of your insanely busy schedule to sit and chat to us. It is very much appreciated. Jamie!
Yes, sir.
Do you happen to have any final words at all?
Just a massive thank you to our guest this week, Mr. Wesley Wang. Thank you so much for taking time out and talk to us, sir. Just to repeat what Tom said, a massive thank you to Tom Brumpton for helping us organise this one. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to enjoy this one.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, interviewing this week, it's Wesley Wang.
Hello, friends.
Hello, sir.
Oh, thanks, Wes. How are you?
You're amazing.
I don't think anybody's ever come in with such enthusiasm and called us friends from the beginning. Normally it's, hi, yeah, I'm here for this interview, yeah.
Nah, let's get into it. It's good to meet you guys. What's up?
No, it's great to meet you too, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we bring you another incredibly talented guest. This week's guest is a writer, director, producer of several award-winning short films, and he's only just started. He's only bloody 19 years old. Here to talk all about his latest short, Nothing Except Everything, starring Gotham's David Mazouz and Daredevil's Lily Chee, and so much more. Boys and girls, put your hands together as we bring you the Chronicles of Wesley Wang. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you so much for interviewing me. I'm super excited.
We are very, very excited. And I think we should get into the really hard-hitting stuff straight away. How have the last few years been with the pandemic? Obviously, for such a young age as well, with being at school and stuff. Like, how was those last few years for you?
Yeah, it was super difficult. The good thing was that the pandemic kind of slowed down school. And so I was able to pursue a lot of the things like filmmaking outside of it. Although it was very hard, obviously, getting on set, making sure we had a code compliance officer on set, and all these rules But and one of our actors for a film that I made in 2021 called Eve, she got COVID like right before the day of the shoot, and this was like very, very common. And so it was, and then we had to postpone like a few weeks, and so stuff was really hard during COVID. But I think ironically it slowed down the whole industry, and I was able to get kind of further along because I found unique ways to bypass it.
That's awesome. It's almost like the gods were looking down and you're going, Wesley needs to start making some movies. We better give a global pandemic so that he's able to get out of school and so he can start making his shorts.
That's so funny. I'd say so. Yeah. Everything has its reason.
It's just the fact, you studied, learn how to do this film, prepared. You're like, your first ever thing you're working on your own. Let's throw a pandemic in your way as well. Let's give you some more things to work through. Why not?
Yeah.
But fair play, you did it. Absolutely incredible. So take us back to the start for you. Obviously, I'm going to say young masturbate. You're still young now, but what did you wish to be when you grew up from an early age? Has it always been in the world of film, or were there other aspirations at a young age?
I would say at the start, it was, I would play chess very competitively for a long time. So I actually thought I was going to be a professional chess player for a long time. I was going homeschooled for it. I went traveled the world to play in international competitions, representing the US a bunch of times. And so I was an 11-time national champion, 6-time All-American. So that was like my life for a long time. But in like 9th grade, 8th grade around, I somehow just found movies and I stopped loving chess. I hated the competitiveness of just the grind and just, it's a very by yourself kind of game, where you have to, it's a lot of solitude and figuring things out by yourself. So filmmaking was this outlet to kind of actually talk to people, socialize, and kind of do things in a strategic way still, but more creatively, and explore that, which I thought I always had in myself. And so that was what I decided to do next.
We have never had a chess champion on this show ever, and that's absolutely incredible. I mean, that's sort of. I mean, do you call it? You don't really call it sport, do you? It's whatever it comes down as. Like don't you have to be like 17 moves ahead of your opponent at all times?
Yeah, about there, 17, 18.
It's around it roughly, but I mean, it's always where it's like, if he moves this and this, I can move that and that. So let me see. But if I move this, he might move this, and it's always I just go, I'll just move the horse to that over there. Let's move the castle.
Yeah,
that's me. I have literally no idea how to play chess. Give me drafts or checkers. I'm well away, but chess, no.
You could probably take me down with that. You just
Yes, imagine that.
11-time national champion. Like, fair play, dude. That's incredible.
Thank you.
Blown my mind.
I love the fact we're here to talk to you all about your movies. We're like, forget the movies. Chess 11 times. That's crazy.
Go ahead. I'm in it. I'm in for it.
What we can't see is all the trophies around the room and everything like that.
For this, because I wanted to market myself as a filmmaker, obviously.
But where did that love of film come from then? It must have been a strong love for you to just give up all those chess aspirations. What was it that drew you in? Was it performance, the story, the spectacle of it all, whatever it may be?
Yeah, it was watching movies at first and how people conveyed stories through the art of images and moving images. So I always thought that was really interesting and combined so many art forms. So I always thought it was the most powerful art, the one that makes people laugh the most, cry the most, feel the most emotions. So I always just want to make people feel the way I felt after watching a good movie, I guess. So like movies like Whiplash, Inception, The Godfather, those were some of the classics that I started with. And I always wanted to make stuff like that when I was like 12, 11 around, started.
I was going to say, what's the go-to genre? Because obviously, it's still quite a young age. Obviously, there's so much that came before. Because I mean, we're in our 30s, and we're like, the 80s and the 90s was obviously like crucial times for movies. Like, we love us. You've got like Good Morning Vietnam and Dead Poet. I just go, Robin Williams is literally my go-to straight away. But like, are those the movies for you that inspired you, or what did you see that made you go, oh my god, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, it's probably Christopher Nolan was one of the big ones. I mean, I think obviously I'm young, so like I watched a lot of modern movies, 2000s, 2010s, but obviously Stanley Kubrick back in the past, PTA, like all these guys, legends, and I kind of diversified, so I take all genres I take from a little bit. So yeah.
That's awesome. Was it a particular film you watched, or was like, I need to do this? This is what I need to do when I'm older, or was it just that combination of seeing so many different things?
Yeah, it was a combination, but if I'd say some that stood out, like Whiplash, I think was super, super just in your face. Literally just went straight to the point. It was no bullshit. It was completely just so well made. David Chazelle is one of my favorites. He also went to Harvard, and he's been an idol for me for so long. So yeah.
How come you didn't want to get in front of the camera?
I was never good looking. No, I'm joking. I don't know. It was never a thing that I was always stage shy and stuff. So I don't know.
You should do a Stan Lee and just appear in like very, very small like parts.
I do actually in the film that I think you're interviewing me about. But I'm at the end. Where I'm the roommate of the main character.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
That's just clicked. So sorry, Wes. I'm sorry.
No. I don't expect you guys to realize.
That's amazing. Obviously, your earliest credit on the internet, the fountain of all knowledge, is 2020. But I know what creative people are like. I've no doubt there was stuff way before then. So what was the first thing you ever made or at least wrote or anything like that?
Yeah, the first ever thing, 2017, I was 12 years old, and it was this movie called The Stranger, and it was named after the Billy Joel album, and it was a detective and serial killer cat and mouse kind of game. My dad starred in it, my brother's friends starred in it, so it was super like scrappy with like this shitty camera. It was just, and I look back on it, I'm like, wow, like this is, but you need to do this stuff, to get to where you are. So it was a great learning experience. It was so much fun to shoot.
Are you going to release it? Is it anywhere for anyone to watch?
No, never. I'm burning that.
I got a reputation to uphold, and then never seen the light of day.
Yeah.
So obviously, you just mentioned a minute ago how you are currently studying at Harvard College, which is absolutely incredible. What is it you're studying? I'm assuming it's film, but
yeah. Well, the film program at Harvard is weird. I took a class or so, and I didn't really like it. So I'm actually doing economics, but economics makes you think about how the world works, and it's a lot about business too. So I think it's very helpful to what I want to do as well. So that's why I'm studying economics at Harvard. Yeah.
How is Harvard? Was that an aspiration? It's like, that's the university I want to go to.
Low key, when I was just a kid, when 11th grade hit, I was like, oh no, college is coming next year. What are some of the best colleges? I felt like I had a good resume, and I just literally threw a dart, and I was like, Harvard's it, I guess. And yeah, so nothing specific about it besides the fact that it's just one of the best schools in the US at least. So yeah.
That's incredible. How is it all going well though? All good there?
Yeah, I love it. I love the people there are very supportive. Everyone has great ideas. Everyone's thinking. Everyone's kind of like this intellectual, and it's really fun.
Are you still studying film at all in any form of way, or is it literally just studying by learning now?
It was studying by learning. Yeah, I was doing a lot of film outside of Harvard and in Harvard a little bit, like screening it there and everything. So I think the best way is always learning by doing. I learned a lot of stuff when I was a kid, like of just like watching YouTube videos. That kind of stuff is always like, it's just as good as someone teaching you, I think, especially in filmmaking. So you got to do it yourself a lot. So that's what I was doing basically.
Does the fact that you're at Harvard, I don't want to sound like a prick here. Does the fact that you're at Harvard help with your movie career? Like, it's like, are you getting noticed more due to the fact that you're at Harvard College?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the main reasons a lot of people go to Harvard, regardless of what industry it is. If you're in Harvard, there's something about you that probably sets you apart. So it's not a prick question at all. Yeah, it's helped me in very, very clear ways as well. Like the guy, there's this guy named Cooper Samuelson, and we just talked about Damien Chazelle. Cooper Samuelson is basically like the feature film president of Blumhouse, and Blumhouse is obviously one of the biggest production companies in the world. And they basically made Whiplash into a short first with Damien, and he was like, "You got to make this into a short before this becomes a feature." And then it won Sundance, and then they were able to fund it as a feature. And so the same guy, Cooper Samuelson, he's an alumni from Harvard. So I got in touch with him through the alumni network, and now he's endorsing my next short. So it did help in a lot of very obvious materialistic ways. Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So
thank you.
So we were just saying then you're like learning by doing. Have you not studied film at all then, even before you went to Harvard? Was it literally everything you've learned through like YouTube and stuff?
No, I studied. I also yeah, I went to camps. I went to New York Film Academy. I went to USC screenwriting academy. So I definitely did learn. I don't want to act like I didn't. Like all that was very, very helpful. It's just most of it, like that, the stuff they tell you to do is like make your own film. And, so the guidance isn't really like, this is how you do it. Because at the end of the day, filmmaking is up to you to learn how to express your vision, how you go about assembling a team, and all that stuff is things that you learn yourself. It's not much like math or like science where it's like cold hard facts, what's going to get you there,
Absolutely. So, obviously, all your projects, they have quite a serious and sometimes a dark tone to them. Like I was watching them earlier today. Where did you get the ideas from your stories?
Sometimes personal experiences, sometimes things I see, in news, or like Mute, for example, was something I just literally took off Reddit. It was like produce my script was the subreddit, and people just submit their scripts on there, and basically none of them get produced. But for some reason, I was just on there just for looking for inspiration, and I saw the script. The log line was, "In a world where words cost money, a woman saves up for her first word in the hope of standing up to her abuser." And I thought that was so genius. And I was like, I'm going to buy this script. So then I optioned it, and then I made it into a film and credited the writer. So sometimes it comes through the internet, and just everyday life experiences is different every time. Yeah.
Could you imagine if that was actually a genuine thing? Like if actually we did actually have to pay for the words that we speak, we'd be fucked on this show.
So broke.
Exactly. But it's the idea of power, right? Like you guys would have so much power then, because you guys are the only ones that would be talking, and then you'd be explaining your ideas, and then it would just be a kind of a positive feedback loop where you guys just keep getting power because you guys are able to kind of rally the crowds and be like, this is what facts are, the truth is. And then so you get more money through that, and then you're able to buy more words. So it just becomes, and I think that's what's happening a lot in modern day society. So I think that's the whole kind of allegory of silencing people and how it just creates a deadly positive feedback loop.
There's suddenly a sequel to Mute that involves two podcasters. We want credit, all right? Because so, as we mentioned, your first credit on the internet is from 2020's Faces. Is that correct? That was a student film?
Yeah, I think the first credit that I have on the internet is probably that. Yeah.
So there's a few other shorts as well on your YouTube, like Box, Goodbye, The Vase, The Dome, and there's a few others. Are they also student projects that you worked on?
Yeah, I directed all of them basically that I have on my YouTube channel. Yeah.
But what's the difference between like the student films you made and then when you've gone out on your own to do them? Is there more freedom in there? Have they given you some sort of guideline that they want you to follow, or is it just go do your thing?
So student films are usually like they have guidelines. So The Box was to create a film without any dialogue. So I think if you watched it, you would know that there's no dialogue. It's just this box that follows a guy, and it's this weird comedy. And so whereas that you first have to make films with limitations, but I think it's very helpful at the start because it makes you think about, a specific thing and really master that specific technical thing. And then you can start going out into doing your own thing. So like Faces, for example, was actually not a student film. I just made it outside the curriculum. It was something that I thought was a good story. And so when you work with limitations, it makes your visions, I think, more technically sound at the end. Yeah.
That's amazing. So before we start talking about your current project, let's talk about your other movies, even Mute. So how long after making Faces did you decide, yeah, it's time to let's make my own thing now. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah. So it was during COVID, actually. Eve was during COVID. It was like March. It was like just started, and I was like, I want to make something because I'm like stuck at home and whatever. So I made a movie about a homeless mother and a son who try to find a job on the streets of New York. And so it was an extremely tough shoot. It was 4 days. It was like the script supervisor got into a car crash on the way to the shoot. Like, again, the lead actress got COVID one day. And it was just like, why am I doing this? But it was a really good learning experience because I was spending my own money. I was self-funding it. And it was just like, you put everything you can into it. But it gave me a lot of credibility afterwards. So it's just, that was the toughest shoot I've ever had in my entire life because it was completely, like my high school friends were helping out. So they were filling some of the roles, and it was just a really scrappy and tough experience. But I learned a lot about how to shoot independent films, basically.
Was everyone all right after the crash?
Yeah, everyone was all right.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Good. That is crazy, man. How do you cast your movies, and how do you decide who you're going to have in it?
So those movies I went through Backstage. It's a great network. Basically, you just post the listing, and then a lot of actors will just submit their resumes, their reels, and whatever, and then you choose through them. You audition people. Yeah, and then other films, like my last one, I started outreaching to agents, because if you want David Mazouz, like they usually never apply for Backstage. There are people that you reach out to, right? Because they've already accomplished a lot. So those, I reached out to the agents, gave them a whole pitch about why this project can succeed and what their character is, and then they either audition or it's just a straight offer where they just come on board.
But the people that you cast in Eve, especially the young boy, the name is not coming to me right now, but wow, that kid can act. Like, I felt so emotional watching that film. It's a hard watch in the best way, because you just feel so much pain from those characters, especially that young boy. Like, my God, I couldn't believe it when I was watching it earlier.
Thank you. It means a lot. Yeah,
it is incredible. It's absolutely beautiful. Where did you get that idea from for that movie?
It was just, it's a city that's like there's a town right next to my town, and Long Island. I live in Long Island, New York. It's just a very segregated place. So literally one town over, people are living like that. So I saw that, I saw news about it, and so I just decided to make a film about what it would mean for two characters that go out doing something that they really, really want to do to make it out, succeed, to get a better life for themselves, but eventually fail, but come to kind of a greater understanding about each other. And by failing, they actually succeed in the end, ironically. So that was the central idea. It was kind of like Little Miss Sunshine. I thought that was one of the biggest inspirations. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's like, spoiler, they fail at the end of the movie, but they get what they actually needed rather than what they wanted.
And that was great. Looked absolutely delicious. I really wanted it.
Thank you. It was fake, actually, completely.
Fake ice cream. God damn it, look really nice as well. But what sort of things did you learn from making Eve that you then like took with you into the making of Mute?
Everything. How to assemble a crew, how to make sure, people are good before they come onto your crew, how to audition people. It's like just everything. How to fund your own movie, how to, everything.
What's amazing though is you said, that was like the hardest shoot you've ever done, and it was your first shoot, and you said how much you learned for it, and then you went, right, let's do it again. Whereas a lot of people would have been like, nah, forget that. That's way too much time.
Yeah, I always say ignorance is the best, is the reason I have come so far. Like literally, I've just been like, I'm gonna make a film that's this good, and I always think I'm gonna make a film that's this good, but I end up here. But then I'm like, okay, I end up here. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a film that's this good this time. But then I end up here where I actually ended up where I was aiming with the last film. So then I just keep climbing this ladder where I think I'm going to go farther than I actually go. But then it doesn't matter, because if you go that, at least you're progressing. So I think what stops a lot of people is that they overthink and they're like, oh, I'm going to fail. I'm not going to make it because of this. They're too realistic about their expectations. And that's what actually causes them to fail. So I think as long as you're confident in yourself and you just believe in yourself, I think you're going to go really, really far. Because filmmaking, above a lot of things, just like entrepreneurship, a lot of things that are just extremely hard, you have to do it on your own. It's you just have to believe in yourself and go all in. You can't half-ass it. You can't do it as a part-time thing. It's just you have to go all out, and those are the people that end up succeeding.
It's amazing. Fair play. Because like I said, a lot of people would have just gone, nah, mate. But the fact you stuck with it it's incredible, quite frankly. But how was Eve received? Because obviously this was your first thing you've done on your own. How was it received?
Yeah, it world premiered at Oscar qualifying LA Shorts International Film Festival. So that was a big one. And yeah, it just went on its own festival circuit, screened at New York Shorts, which is one of the biggest festivals, short film festivals on the East Coast of the United States. So it was a pretty good success. It allowed me to make Mute and then Nothing Except Everything. So every film kind of was like its own reel, and like kind of like I could show people, look what I've done, and then people would be like, oh, I want to, work on your next project. So you get better and better with each project,
How many awards did you win? Because I know it won a fair few awards as well, didn't it?
Sorry?
Didn't Eve win a fair few awards as well at the festivals?
Yeah, it won a few. It won. I don't have the exact names, but it did win some awards. Yeah, but none of them were huge. They were pretty solid though.
And I imagine like the boost you got from all the praise coming out of Eve must have been like give you such an, don't want to say ego boost, but like a good push going into mute. You're like, yeah, I can do this. Like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. That's exactly what it felt like. Yeah.
So talking about mute, and sorry, I'll see. You mentioned earlier when you got the inspiration from, but for those unaware, what exactly is Mute about?
Mute is essentially about a world. It's a sci-fi dystopian kind of fantasy world. That it's about a world in which words, in order to speak, you have to pay money. You have to go to this ATM machine. You have to like put in your funds, and then you're like, okay, I could choose a word to say, and then you can go back and say that word. And so, a woman who's being sexually abused, she basically tries to save up for a word at the end to say, basically. Yeah.
Again, it's harrowing. It's in the best way. Again, it's a hard watch. And again, I'm going to say it, that the actress you got to play that main character, wow, the emotions, the way she portrayed it is phenomenal. And I'm obviously not going to spoil the ending, but when she's there and they've said, like, what word do you want? I was like, oh, I better know. And I got it right, and I was well happy with myself.
Yeah, it was too predictable. That was the only thing.
Nah, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. But watching it, you can see your growth in you as a filmmaker. Like, just the small nuances, the way things do, the color grading, you can see all that growth in you. But it's absolutely amazing to see. Could you see it yourself, how much you'd grown when you watched it back?
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot more controlled. It was a lot more concise than Eve. Eve was obviously like 22 minutes, so I wanted to make an exercise that was much shorter, much more precise, and just tell a story straight and through, no bullshit, kind of just give it to them. And I thought I accomplished that to a certain degree, at least.
Absolutely. And again, this one did absolutely incredible at awards and stuff as well at the film festivals.
Yeah, one of the most notable ones is Flickers, which is Oscar qualifying, and it's a pretty big festival that runs in September every year in the US.
It seems
So that's right. I was going to say, is it quite weird to like have to write a script in the space of 7 minutes or 8 minutes, or do you write a script that's like however long and then smash it down into that sort of time scale?
Yeah, usually you write something down that just like is longer, that has all your ideas, and then you're like, okay, which ideas are the best and which are the most concise, and then you put it like smaller,
So do you film every single bit of it and then go, right, what can we use, what do we not need to use, that sort of thing, or do you only film the bits that you need?
Yeah, that would waste a lot of time and money. So you actually just do it in the script writing process. Usually, at least you cut down what you can. Because if you envision it well enough, then this isn't going to work, So then you just cut it down to what's the essentials and then just shoot that.
Okay. I imagine if I wrote something, I'd be like, yes, this looks wonderful. Yes, we'll do all this. Let's shoot this, and then go, cool, I don't need any of that now. Fuck.
It's funny because a lot of people think the film is made in production, but I think the film is always made before that, in pre-production and development. When you're writing the script, when you're hiring your people, because basically what you're doing is you're telling people, this is what you're going to do when you show up on set at 8:15, this is what you're going to do at 9 p.m, this is what you're going to do, and then you give them the whole rundown of what they're going to do, and then they just do it. So literally production is just doing what you've been told, basically, a lot of it. So there's very uncertainty about how a film will turn out, as long as you have it completely in your brain beforehand, and then you just tell your crew and cast to do this. Yeah,
it's a really interesting way of looking at it, because again, I mean, we're not from the world of film, so but I always thought that it would be done afterwards when the editing starts, and it's like, well, we have all this footage now, let's like condense it down into what we want to make into a film. And have you ever had moments in your movies where you've gone, wonderful, and then watched it and gone, actually, can we swap this and this bit over to make it make more sense this way? Or
yeah, absolutely. That's the sign of a good director. Usually they don't take their ego into account. They don't admit they screwed up or whatever. I mean, they admit when they screwed up, and then they will say, okay, I screwed up here. Actually, maybe this scene should not go here. Maybe this take should be different. All this stuff. So, yeah.
I imagine being the writer and the director helps with that as well, because you know the vision that was there in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually find it hard. I don't know how people direct scripts that are not their own, because it's like they have to pick the writer's brain out completely, and then they know what they're thinking and then put their own spin on it. But I guess it's just a different art form.
Or is it the way of like, I'm a writer going, right, wonderful. Now I want to see how somebody interprets this. Have this direct. Like, I'm going to sit back and just let you, and to run with it and see what happens.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
I suppose it all depends on how much of a control person you are. Because I don't know. I know what I'm like. If I go to someone else and they didn't do it how I wanted it, I'll be like, you ruined my vision.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I have to direct my own scripts. I cannot give it to someone.
Do you edit them as well?
Some of them. Like Eve was the last one I edited. Actually, no, Eve, I didn't even edit Eve myself. Yeah, Faces was the last one I edited. And then Eve, I started giving to other people who did it better than me, basically.
That's good. That's what you want.
Yeah. Just going back to the film festival thing again, because we've spoken to quite a few people who work in independent film on here. How important are these film festivals to independent movie makers? Because it seems like it's how you get what you need to do in life.
In a lot of ways, it is. Sometimes, I mean, it's one way to get your films out there, right? There's the streaming way, there's the online way, and then there's usually the festival way, which distributors will buy your film out for an X amount of dollars to go into theaters or to go into streaming, right? Whatever it is. And so that's how, festivals are a great way for basically buyers to come in and be like, this is, because this is such a pristine festival. When Netflix comes to Sundance, they'll be like, oh, I'm expecting a great number of films that are really, really good. So that's why it's so important, because all the biggest distributors are at these festivals, basically.
So, go on, Jay.
I was going to say, does the fact that it's a short movie hinder the chances of being picked up? Because obviously normally on these streaming platforms and cinemas and stuff, you see feature-length, full-length movies. Does that hinder anything at all?
Yeah, so short films you usually make at the start of your career because it's a vehicle to make longer films. But sometimes it's its own art form itself as well. And short films are increasingly having a place in a lot of people, because shorter attention spans, whatever it is, people are also starting to see a market for short films. So I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think there's people now that are like, that was great, what's next? That was great, what's next? That's great. That seems to be the generation now. Like, I struggle with it. Like, I watch full feature lengths and I have to pause it like 15 times because I want to go make a cup of tea, or I want to look out the window for 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Because I just can't, unless I'm absolutely gripped and I'm involved. I'm like, I'll watch the next half an hour in a bit.
Exactly. I agree. So a lot of great short films just basically say what they want to say and then get out, because everyone... it's just the bite for them, and it's just the story just told very concisely. I think that's beautiful.
I never looked at it like that before. That's really good. That's actually really good. I like that. So, see, let's talk about Nothing Except Everything, because that's what we're here to talk about. For those unaware, what's it about?
Geez, it's what it's about, or what's it about, right? I'd say what it's about is just a graduating high schooler tries to find meaning in the number 7 in a world of chaos, basically. But yeah, I guess it's up to you to interpret like how you actually think about it, what that means.
I read that tagline and I was like, in the world, the number 7, like what? And then I watched it and I was like, I get it now. I get it. It's sort of like you have to watch it to understand that tagline.
Yeah, the tagline is just the kind of curiosity, so people watch it, basically. Yeah.
Does it matter what number you choose? Or is that, again, down to us?
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, if unless you're like, oh, you didn't get my number right, I'm turning off this movie. You know, like you failed. But I don't think anyone was like.
Well, I chose 9. I don't know why. I just chose 9. But my interpretation of the film is always
bad viewer.
Well, sorry. The interpretation I took from it, without trying to spoil anything, was that life's too short, and I was in my head. I was going, I just want to go and do all the things I want to go and do right now. I'm not gonna. Oh, but I want to go to, I don't know, Australia. I'll have to save for 15 years until I'm able. It's like, no, just pay for it and just fuck off and go. Do you know what I mean? That's in my head. That's the way I interpret that movie. It's like, just live for the moment and just do everything.
That's a great interpretation. I think if you took that away, I'm happy. You know, you're a good viewer now. You're forgiven.
Yes, yeah. The 9 is fine. We can forgive the 9.
Where did the idea for this movie come from? Because obviously, like you said, it's very open-ended. You take your own interpretation away from it. Was that your intention, or was that just sort of how it came out?
Yeah, I think it was. It was always this idea of this chaos and trying to find meaning in it. And I think every day more so, we live in a world where it's just very, very, we don't know what's going on. There's so many things going on and we're trying to find meaning in it. So I think that was what I was feeling at the time. I think my generation, especially just young people, like, especially when you're going off to college and leaving everything you've ever known behind, it's just a very uncertain kind of what your future holds. So that's where the inspiration came from, basically.
You touched on something then I think is really important. You know, it's actually nice seeing the film about high school and that age from someone who actually is that age, instead of like people that had left high school about 30 years ago making their guess of what it's like to be a high schooler now.
Yeah.
Was that important to you to give that generation a voice?
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest things. I was just watching a lot of high school movies now. I mean, it might be funny to like older people, but like to younger people, it's just cringy, and it's just like, this is not how it feels. Even if the story is correct, like the style in which it's portrayed is not very young, I think. So I think, yeah, obviously there's not much young content out there because a lot of people that are young don't get to make films because they're not experienced enough and stuff like that. But I felt like I was at the point where I could kind of do justice to this generation. So that's what I was trying to do.
And you absolutely do that. There's 2 scenes that really stuck out to me that do that. One was the awkward kiss in the car. Like that was just, might not have been in a car, but we've all had those awkward moments. Like we've all been there when we're at that age. Like, yeah. I was just like, that is a man that has experienced that in recent history. Like that is perfect. And also the scene that's like, will you remember me? Again, I'm trying not to go too much into it. I don't want to spoil it, people. But that will you remember me scene, again, it's something we've all been there. Like at one point in our life, we were like, this is going to be my forever. And then it's like, no, it's probably not. Like, and it's such a beautiful way of looking at it. I was watching it, I was just like, this is absolutely incredible. Like he's really put a voice on this emotions that people at this age do think and feel, but probably don't express.
Exactly. It was this kind of subconscious kind of thing I wanted to explore. I think a lot of people don't talk about the things that I was trying to talk about in this movie. And that was one of the biggest goals of mine.
Was it a bit of oh my God, I can't believe it kind of moment when David Mazouz and Lily Chee agreed to be in the film?
Yeah. Oh my God. Especially David at first. I mean, when he read the script, he was like, look, I really, really love this. Obviously I get a lot of offers every day, but like, this is like how I'm feeling. Like, this is like, I resonate with this a lot. So it just shows the power of a good story. And when you really tell something authentic, people will relate to it. And yeah, he did. So, and then Lily came on as well very quickly after that for similar reasons. She was like, yeah, this is like what I'm going through right now. So yeah.
Dave was such a good actor as well. I loved him in Gotham. I never thought he got his flowers for his performance in Gotham. So, like, to see him again in this a few years later, I was like, God, he's still so damn good. Like,
he's so good. And I'm just wishing people now see more of him now when he's, you know, what he can do at this age as well, because he's still an incredible actor, obviously.
I did one of those stupid moments where I'd read about the movie and watched it, and I still went, why do I know this actor? Why do I know him? It's driving me mental. Why do I know this actor? Went back to the details I had and went, of course, it's from Gotham.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing, man. Do you feel that having them two involved gives that movie that a little bit more oomph because it's well-known faces?
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely a big plus. A lot of people signed on because of them, and it was seen a lot because of them. They were able to show it to their audience because of that. So yeah.
Do you reckon you could make it a full feature length?
That's the goal now. We're trying to pitch it to investors and distributors and actors and stuff. So yeah, hopefully that get made soon.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I'll get out of your head now, but that's absolutely incredible.
What was it about this project that made you go, I want to reach out, I want to get some named actors on this? Is it because you were so passionate about it, you wanted this to be the one that gets made a feature, so you thought, let's put all the energy into it? Or was it...
I just saw a lot of potential in it. I think also when my producer signed on, it was a big deal because my producer was the first one that signed on, and then it was David, and then Lily. So really it was Scott, who was my producer, basically, who's working with me now on my next short, and he's one of my closest friends and a great mentor to me, basically. And so when he signed on, it was kind of like, oh wait, shit, like this is like legit, like I gotta like put everything into this. So let's get some really named good actors. So yeah.
But to make it like the story behind the film, like for you as a writer, like I was reading something you said in an article with Movie Maker, and the things you were saying in there, it came across to me like writing this was sort of a form of therapy for yourself in a sense.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way of putting it. I think it was just, I had to write it. It was something that was so inside me, and just everything I was feeling at the moment where I wanted to put it down, and I was like, I'm not going to make this into a film. But because when you write things that are so personal and authentic and therapy to you, it just resonates with people because it's so deeply inside you. And all these people, they just don't talk about it, but they do feel these emotions too. It looks like. So yeah.
And fair play to you, because it can't be easy to just put your emotions out there for people to view on a screen at the end of the day. Like, so fair play to you. I admire that a lot.
Thank you.
And again, I've said it for the last turn, I'm going to say it again. This film's won so many awards at like these festivals and stuff like that. You must be so happy with the feedback you've got from it, considering this was like a passion project going into it.
Yeah, it was quite magnificent. It just shows like write what you know, and just keep going.
But were you a bit concerned in the way of like you're putting your heart and soul there? You're basically putting yourself out there for the world to see.
Yes, but I think it's in a way that's constructive. I think a lot of people relate to it and be inspired by it. So I don't think it's in a bad way,
No, okay, no. I didn't just sit and be like, oh my god, is this going to be okay? Is this going to be all right? Is it, are people going to understand what I'm trying to portray here and put out there for, and everything? It's obviously every time you've done it, you've smashed out the park. So, and obviously at the ripe young age of 19, I imagine from here on out, like we're going to be hearing a lot more about you, I think, in the future. We're going to be seeing a lot more of your stuff out and about everywhere. People to go, it's Wesley Wang. It's just, it's a double W.
The double W. Oh man, it's the quadruple E, quadruple U, or whatever you want to.
Yeah. Sorry, it was just the first thing that came into my head. It's like you won the Summer White Lynch Memorial Award for this one at the Indie Shorts, that's obviously Oscar qualification as well, isn't it?
That one isn't, but there's like 3 awards that at that festival which are Oscar qualifying. But yeah.
It's absolutely mind blowing, and like Tom was saying, so young into your career, and we can only imagine where you're going to be. All I'm going to say is, don't forget us too. We gave you this interview when you're like Steven Spielberg in the future. Yeah, just don't forget us. He's just giving you your brand new marketing nickname.
Jamie and Tom.
Yes, it's been recorded, so we've got you on record saying that.
But is it still on the festival circuit right now?
Yes, it's still on the festival circuit. So it's going to Flickers next, LA Shorts, and we'll see where else.
So does that mean that it'll eventually get a release sometime in the future?
Yep, definitely within the next few months we'll get a release. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I'll make sure to share that everywhere.
Thank you.
But obviously, we're saying how much you're pushing this project like to be the one for you. Was there a point in time where you went, yeah, this is going to work. This is going to be the one we're going to push? Or was there a moment that happened?
It was every single moment was a small moment, I think, after like receiving each feedback from the script of like, holy shit, Wesley, like this is going to blow people out of the water. The next person saying that, the next person saying that, Scott coming on board, then David coming on board, Lily coming on board. When I saw the first cut of the film, when I, shot it, and when I was, just on the whole set and just, yeah. So it was multiple steps. It was never like one moment where I was like, yep, that's it. It's going to get into indie shorts and win the Summer Lynch Award. Like, it's never like that. It's just multiple steps.
And again, I say it again, you can see your progression as a filmmaker. Like, even though it's a short, it looks like a feature. You could see that on a big screen, like the effects and everything like that. It's beautiful to watch. It really is.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely, I really like crossed everything that you managed to achieve to get this made. It will blow people away. It really will. I can't wait to see it expanded. But I love the fact, like you alluded to it earlier, like you're promoting this, you go for this now, this is your thing you're pushing, but you're like, yeah, but I've got another one to make now, so let's crack on with this one.
Yeah, after this, I have a call with my actors to rehearse with them. Like the shoot's in 2 weeks, and so it's just very exciting stuff. It's been very tiring, and promoting this and then shooting another one, but it's how it works. You just got to keep making.
And the fact you're studying at Harvard in between is just been absolute bonkers, like fair play. You sleep at all? Bad interest.
I try to. I've been getting less and less recently, but it's okay. I'll get there.
But can we talk about the next project, or is it hush at the moment?
Yeah, I can share a little bit about it. It's about influencers. It's a horror movie. It's about influencers on a Hampton strip being terrorized by a stalker. So it's this, they like start receiving messages from this mysterious stalker. Like it's images of themselves in the house. So it's this kind of weird psycho thriller type, and it stars some famous people: Avani Gregg, Vinnie Hacker, Brandon Husu, and Ella Mendelsohn. So it's a really exciting project.
Damn, Wes. I mean, again, it's very 2023 as well. Obviously, influences, phones, technology, that sort of thing. So again, you're in your realm. It's your calling, sort of thing. Because obviously, technology now is scary. How fast it's going, like scary. I mean, how you feel about the whole AI thing? We don't have to go into detail about it, but the whole AI thing, obviously, we're taking over with potentially writing and that sort of thing. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I talk to a lot of tech people in the industry, and it just seems like AI, within 5 years, is definitely going to be assisting filmmaking, and within 10 years, I think films will be completely made by AI. So I think it's definitely scary, but also it could provide. I always look at technology in a positive, not always, but I always try to be optimistic that it will result in creative films that are made by both human and AI, that AI just advances the efficiency and like certain things. And I think I think it'll just aid the whole process rather than detract.
That's a good way of looking at it, because obviously you lose that whole human feel and human emotion in stuff. You don't want it to be so robotic. That's what worries me about obviously watching movies, and you go, well, it feels like there's no heart and soul in this, because it's all like, they went here, they did this, they went and did this, then they talked, then they kissed, then they slept together. Do you know what I mean? It's just not. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean.
It's very like black and white, just so like to the point. There's no like, oh, he glanced but then turned away. She wasn't sure. Mysterious.
Oh, now that AI could not write.
Yeah. That, again, this is why I'm not a film writer, Wes. You see, I was like, you have nothing to worry about from this side of things. Don't worry about it. I just do a lot of talking.
No, I'm excited to see that film that you just talked about right there.
Yeah. That's a TS. That's a TS right there.
Oh, fuck yeah, that broke me. That did. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like a lot of people are worried, and that's why we're having these strikes at the moment, that AI is going to take over. But I think AI can be a good thing if it's used as an assistant, not as a replacement. So I'm hoping if it's going to be used, that is what they're going to use it for.
Absolutely. I'm really hoping that too.
But no,
it'd be funny if it was like spoken like AI as well. It's like, hey, you over there, come here now. And then I don't. That's just yeah. Like it's very robotic and AI based. I can't imagine actors doing that at all in any way, shape, or form. But it would be funny.
AI voice actors, but like,
Green lizard man.
No, Wesley, what I've loved about talking to you is like the fact that you are so young, you're using this talent and this gift you've got for filmmaking to give your generation a voice, which I think is so important because, like you were saying, people of your generation, they don't have a voice because not many people your age can do what you can do. And it's amazing that you've sort of taken that on as if to go, okay, I will use my platform to give a voice, and it is absolutely amazing to see. And that is why I really think that this film is going to absolutely smash it. Because, like I say, it's going to give people that voice, and they're going to be drawn to it.
Thank you so much. It means a lot.
It's absolutely amazing. Mr. Stevens, do you have any more questions about?
I do. Did you ever think in your short tenure so far as a director that this is the sort of level of success you would have hit already?
No, never. No. It's a dream. It's an honor to do what I do. And I just hope to keep going and just keep doing my generation justice. Yeah, never in a million years would I have thought I'm here.
It's amazing though, dude. Like I just keep smashing out the proverbial park because you're doing a great job, as evidently as obviously what we saw earlier with watching your stuff and whatnot. So I look forward to seeing what you do in the future, and there'll be some Wesleys on Flicks and Prime and Hulu and God knows what else. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Like I said, this is only the beginning for you, sir. There's big things. I can feel it in the waters, as they say. But before we let you get out of here, any plug social medias, websites you want people to go check out?
Just at w.wang64 for my personal, and at nothing.accepteverything for the film account. So those are on Instagram if you want to follow me for more updates about either personal projects I'm working on or the film updates. Either one.
And I would encourage everyone to go check out Wesley's YouTube channel because there's some great content on there. You can find Eve on there, you can find Mute on there, as I found earlier as well. So go check them out, go watch them. They are absolutely brilliant.
Thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate the plug.
No, it's well deserved, my friend. It really is.
Wes, thank you so much, man. This has been absolutely amazing. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you and to chat to you today. And again, like I say, I wish you all the success for the future, my friend.
Thank you. It means a lot, and I won't forget you guys.
Yes.
Oh, too kind. Right back at you. Right back at you. Take care, buddy.
Take care.
Enjoy the rest of your day. See you later, buddy.
Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye.
What an absolutely fantastic interview. Like, the amount this man has achieved at such a young age is absolutely phenomenal. And when this movie, Nothing Except Everything, is out, I implore you all to go and check it out. We were very fortunate to get a preview of it, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely great.
Yeah, but you'll get a very good insight. You should have got a very good insight, should we say, from hearing what we said in the interview there. So, Wesley, thank you so much for taking the time, like I said, out of your insanely busy schedule to sit and chat to us. The movie's fantastic, and I really wish you all the best with what's to come in the future, because it sounds like it's going to be very, very exciting. And it's going to be up there. It'll be up there with the top soon, I reckon. Oh, yeah. And I really hope that you all enjoyed listening to it as much as we did recording it.